Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the most complete spoken English course on YouTube, where you learn English without boring grammar, without textbooks, and without stress. Here, you learn by listening to real-life stories and answering simple questions that will boost your fluency. Today's story is called, I Skipped One Class and Everything Went Wrong. Let's begin. It all started on a bright and breezy Wednesday morning. The kind of morning that feels like nothing bad could possibly happen. Birds were chirping outside my window, and the sun was shining just right through the curtains. I had just brewed my second cup of coffee, toasted some bread, and sat at my desk, scrolling through my phone. That's when the calendar notification popped up. History class, 10:30 a.m., room 207. At that moment, something in me just said, skip it. Why? I don't even know. I wasn't sick. I wasn't too tired. I just didn't want to go. It was the middle of the week. I told myself, I deserve a break. It seemed harmless. I had never skipped that class before. Professor Bennett was one of the best on campus. He told stories like a movie narrator. His lectures were always interesting. But that morning, I wanted peace. Silence. I didn't feel like being around people. So I threw on a hoodie, grabbed my headphones, and left the dorm. I walked past the student center and over to the little park behind the library. It was quiet there. I sat on a bench under a tree, listening to music. I even wrote a few lines in my journal, something I hadn't done in weeks. I remember thinking, this is good for me. I'm recharging. I stayed there for over an hour. Around 11:45, I strolled to my favorite cafe. I bought a chocolate muffin and an iced tea and sat near the window. The cafe was mostly empty, just a few people studying. I smiled, thinking, everyone else is stressed, and I'm here enjoying life. That's when I saw it. One of my classmates posted a story on Instagram. Pop quiz today in history. Good luck to everyone. My heart dropped. Wait, a pop quiz? I had completely forgotten that Professor Bennett loved surprises. He once gave a quiz on Thanksgiving. Online. I felt a chill run down my spine. I ran out of the cafe, muffin still in hand, and started walking quickly back to campus. By the time I reached my dorm, my roommate Kevin was sitting at his desk. He looked up and said, Dude, where were you? Why? I asked, trying to act calm. History class, he said. Pop quiz. And the essay topics for midterms were given out. You missed everything. I sat down, stunned. Kevin continued. And it gets worse. Everyone got their essay topic in a sealed envelope. Bennett said no replacements. I rushed across campus to Professor Bennett's office, but it was too late. The door was locked, and a note read, Gone for the day. Office hours, Friday. I walked back slowly, frustrated with myself. My mind was racing. How could I be so stupid over one class? I didn't enjoy the walk anymore. The sun felt too hot, the people too loud. The peacefulness I felt earlier had disappeared completely. Back in my room, I emailed Professor Bennett. I told him I wasn't feeling well, which wasn't completely true. He replied 2 hours later. I'm sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, as noted in the syllabus, pop quizzes cannot be made up. Please visit me during office hours Friday for your essay topic. Friday felt like a year away. Those next 2 days, I kept wondering, what would my topic be? Would it be harder than everyone else's? When Friday finally came, I arrived at his office before it even opened. When Professor Bennett showed up, he handed me a sealed envelope. I opened it in front of him. Analyze the economic impacts of Cold War policy in Southeast Asia. Seriously? That was the hardest topic on the list. Kevin's topic would deal how the Berlin Wall impacted German families. Much easier. I didn't say anything. I just nodded and walked out. That weekend, while my friends relaxed and played games, I was buried in books and online articles. I barely slept. I drank way too much coffee. I was stressed, anxious, and completely behind. And it all started because I skipped one class. The lesson hit me hard. College isn't like high school. You miss one class, and you miss everything. From that day on, I never skipped class without a serious reason, because sometimes one small decision leads to big consequences. And now, whenever I think about skipping a class, I remember that sunny Wednesday, and how quickly everything went wrong. Now, it's time for your quiz. Let's test how much you understood from the story. Remember, answer out loud, and you have 5 seconds to respond after each question. Ready? Let's go. Why did the narrator decide to skip class? Because they felt like taking a break and thought it wouldn't matter. What subject was the class they skipped? History with Professor Bennett. Where did the narrator go instead of class? To a park and then a cafe to relax. What surprise did the professor give during class? A pop quiz and sealed envelopes with unique midterm essay topics. How did the narrator find out about the quiz? From a classmate's Instagram story. What was the professor's office like when the narrator arrived? It was locked with a note saying he had left for the day. What was the professor's response to the narrator's email? That quizzes couldn't be made up and to visit office hours for the essay topic. What was the narrator's essay topic? The economic impacts of Cold War policy in Southeast Asia. How did the narrator feel over the weekend? Stressed, behind, and filled with regret. What lesson did the narrator learn? That skipping one class can cause many unexpected problems. Great job. Even if you didn't get all the answers, remember, the goal is to practice speaking and listening. Now let's go over some vocabulary from today's story. Let's take a closer look at some key words and expressions. Pop quiz, a surprise test given without warning. Example: the teacher gave a pop quiz on Tuesday. Sealed envelope, an envelope that is completely closed, keeping the contents private. Example: the results were inside a sealed envelope. Essay topic, the subject or question a student has to write about. Example: my essay topic was about climate change. Domino effect, a chain reaction where one action causes a series of others. Example: skipping class caused a domino effect of problems. Syllabus, a plan or outline of what will be taught in a course. Example: the syllabus said all assignments must be submitted on time. Catch up, to make up for missed work or learning. Example: I need to catch up on my homework. Groan, to make a low sound of unhappiness or frustration. Example: I groaned when I saw how much homework I had. Recharge, to rest and regain energy. Example: I took the weekend off to recharge. Buried in books, a phrase meaning someone is studying a lot. Example: I was buried in books all weekend. Fall behind, to be late or slow in progress. Example: he fell behind after missing 2 weeks of school. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. You are doing something amazing by learning English with stories. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends so more people can enjoy these stories and learn English the easy way. This is Docentes DigitalesTV, where you learn to speak English fast, easy, and with confidence. See you in the next video.